Okay, so we're getting ready. 3, 2, 1. I think we are live now. Hello, everybody. It's so nice to see you here today. We're doing the Harlem Renaissance. Real quick, for those who might be new to me, I am Miriam Schulman. I am the author of Artpreneur, and I'm also host of the Inspiration Place podcast. I'm so excited to welcome you here today to our Harlem Renaissance live stream. So make sure that you introduce yourself in the chat so that we can say hello to you. Yeah, I can't wait to get to know you. So if you haven't already, share in the chat who you are, what kind of art you do, if you're an artist, and where you live in the world. We can't wait to get to know you. I'm joined here today by Addie. She's going to be chatting with you inside the comments, welcoming you to this live stream. Okay, if you're new to me and you want to come and watch us again, make sure you hit the follow to get notifications for the next live. I don't always email every time that I go live, so the best way to get notified is hitting that follow button. You can also catch up on any of our past live streams. We've linked them all up for you. If you're not sure where to find it, go to schulmanart.com/live streams. That will take you to Amazon, where you'll be able to see all of the past live streams linked up. All right. Let us get going today. I'm so excited. We're talking about the Harlem Renaissance. So this is an exhibit that I saw recently at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and I thought it'd be super fun to take you with me inside of the museum. And we're going to be, if you like this type of thing, let me know inside the chat that you want more of these types of live streams. Okay, so we're going to get started first with Jacob Lawrence. So Jacob Lawrence, he only had this particular piece of artwork inside the exhibit that I recall, was just this one, but he is known as the artist who did the series of The Great Migration. So I did link up inside of the carousel, Addie, there is Jacob Lawrence's book, The Great Migration, which shows all of that artwork that he does. But the reason I decided to start here is because of what was happening during this time was that after the emancipation, there was this great migration from the South of African Americans who were coming north, and many of them settled in Harlem. So that is the reason that I've also shared with you inside of this live stream this book, which is The Warmth of Other Suns, which is the story of the Great Migration. And it really explains like how the Harlem came to be the center of the Black Renaissance. So it was a very alive time. There were a lot of musicians, artists, writers who all settled. And we're going to be highlighting some of those people today through the depiction of the artwork. Okay, and I do have a video, so let me see which is the video. Ah, here it is. Chicago is another, and this artist is a Chicago artist. He was born in Chicago. He studied at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. All right. One of the reasons I really liked this artwork is because even though it's representational, it has a lot of abstract elements to it. All of the pool balls, like you have these dots, you have the rectangles of the green felt of the pool, and you have these Black figures enjoying modern life. So I felt that this was a really great example of the type of art that was coming out from this period. Now, this he did in 1942, but it's still, he's an important figure of this era. This is a portrait that's really more of the time. I do associate the Black Renaissance really part of the 1920s when this was happening. So this is a portrait of Winold Rice. I did not research exactly his background. The reason that I took a photo of this is because I just love the way it was depicted. It reminded me of the type of art that Alice Neal was also doing at the same time. So she is not a Black artist. She is a white artist who did live in Spanish Harlem. So I'm assuming that there was some sort of joint influences between them, but there was like the realistic face and then kind of this Picasso-like line drawing, and then the hand was very realistic. So I really love the way that this was depicted as a portrait. I found that to be very inspiring. Langston Hughes, of someone who should be very familiar. Oh, you know what? I realized what I did wrong here. Okay. So Winold Rice is the artist, and who they're depicting is Lan Leroy Locke. So I'm kind of flaunting my ignorance at this point. And if you know who he is and you want to share in the chat, I'm happy for you guys to help me out here. Okay, so by the same artist is a portrait of Langston Hughes. And again, I did not spend time researching this artist. I took the photograph because I knew Langston Hughes, a very important poet. And it just shows you how there was this meeting of the minds, how what an active place this was, and how inspiring it was, and how opening and uplifting it was to be someone who was Black and living in Harlem at this time. It was such a flourishing of culture. This by the same artist, two public school teachers. And again, I just love the artwork, which is why I chose to highlight it. I love the way he really did a psychology, like it's a psychological portrait of these two teachers. You really get to know who these two women are. He doesn't try to make them too pretty, too smiley. And this is the type of artwork that when I was painting portraits, I strive to create as well. It was hard for me as a portrait artist to try to convince the parents that they wanted portraits of their children where they weren't necessarily smiling, but that is what they would come to me for, were these psychological portraits. And this one I loved. This is by Samuel Joseph Brown, called Smoking My Pipe, from 1934. I loved this one because it's watercolor, and I was just blown away by the beauty of the handling of this watercolor. I thought this was very well done. The smoke, the everything. And again, it's a beautiful psychological portrait. Let me know what you think of these portraits. Share with me in the chat. Do these inspire you as well? Okay. Oh, there's a very funny comment in the chat. So Deidre says, my friends who are teachers today still make the same faces. I'm going to go back so we can see what faces we're talking about. My daughter is also a teacher. And yeah, I think she could relate to this as well. She's a public school teacher. She has days like that. Okay, so next we are looking at Miss Zora Neale Hurston, and she is the author of many books. The one that I decided to include inside the carousel today, though, whoops, wrong way, is this one. So this is Their Eyes Were Watching God. And if you've read the book Where the Crawdads Sing, you will see that there's influences of this book in that book. And I see Addie is nodding your head. Addie, did you read that book, Where the Crawdads Sing? You're muted right now. You can just nod your head.
Yeah, it's a great book.
Yeah. So if you read this one as well, you will find some influences in there. And I listened to the Met put out a really great podcast series called the Harlem Renaissance. Actually, I need to look up what that is, the exact thing. And in there, they talk about how she went to a party, and in the party, she walked in with a red bow, and she kind of announced herself to the room. She flipped her bow over her shoulder, and she said, "Color Story," which I think was the name of her play. And it was at this party where she met one of the deans of Barnard, and that dean got her enrolled as one of the first Black students. And so she was one of the first, I think she was the first Black student to graduate Barnard College. I have to fact check myself. I'm not going to fact check myself now. I think that's what I remember. If I'm wrong, you can let me know in the comments. Okay, now we're going to get back to this. Okay, William H. Johnson. This was a new artist to me. I had never heard of him before, and he is now one of my new favorites. I absolutely loved this artwork and all the artworks that he created that was included in this show. Tell me what you think of it in the chat. I would love to hear from you. And I do have a video of this one as well. Let me see if I can find it. Shoot. It says there's a video. Oh, here it is. Okay, I just learned also that my mic is muted while I'm playing videos, and I think I was talking during the last video and I didn't realize it, but I wanted to give you guys the experience of what it was like to be with me in the museum and seeing these paintings for the first time and seeing other people looking at this artwork. Okay, so here is another one by William Johnson. This is called Woman in Blue, and this is featured on the posters of all the Harlem Renaissance. And I just loved it. I just loved it, how it's kind of very much like a Picasso kind of painting, and how that these artists were really trying to show create a brand new modern art that represented themselves. Okay, and there's a question if this is oil or acrylic. So actually, I have with me, and we did link it up in the carousel. So one of the things I like to do if I'm not able to go to a museum in person is I will get the catalog. And so I do have the catalog linked up. So this is it. There was another artwork by that same artist, William Johnson, on the back cover. And I'm going to just see if we can answer that question right now, if this is acrylic or oils. So, okay. It doesn't say on the color plate right here. I would have to really dig in and read it, but I'm looking right here, it's showing some of the studies for it. It's really interesting to see artists when they're working, how they don't always arrive at their final thing the first time. And a lot of times we create paintings and we want it to look like a masterpiece right away. And what we don't realize is that the artists, they rework it and they rework it, or they try different variations until they finally arrive at, see how this works, because have this beautiful yellow shape that contrasts so much here. And you have the area of most contrast at the eyes, which is about a third of the way down. And then there's a third here using that compositional triad. So I'm not seeing, or at least it's not jumping out at me right away, whether it's oil or acrylic. So I'm not really sure what it was, because it doesn't say. I'm sure it says somewhere in the book. I just can't find, I'm just not going to be able to find it while we're live. So it's here. One thing that I want to tell you about that I like to do is when I get books like this, sometimes I will keep the cover on. And sometimes if I like what's underneath better, I will take the cover off. And that's just a little hack that I use, that you can basically have more decor that way. So if you want this, you can put this on your coffee table with this painting face up, and that becomes kind of like decor in your home. So that's just a little hack that I have for somebody who enjoys art, but I don't want to have posters in my homes because I really like original art, but then I'll like to use like the coffee table books in this way. Okay, let's get back to the stream. But Deidre, that was a great question that you asked. Okay, Aaron Douglas. We have a few things here. And the question that I asked is, can you spot the trombone, which I can't even spot anymore? Is there a trombone in here? Shoot. Can you see it, Addie?
I'm having a hard time seeing it. So
I know.
Is there
I'm
one?
not seeing it. There. It must be because I said so, but I'm having a tough time seeing it. This is Noah Built the Art. What I loved about this artist is like how modern everything looks. It's very flat. Yeah, I don't know where the trombone is, like why I said that. You know what? Maybe this is in a different. Um Okay, well, the second one definitely has a trumpet. So I'm not sure if I mixed these two up.
I think there's a trombone there at the top of the arc. There's someone playing the trombone. Do you see that?
He's playing a trombone?
Yeah, so there's the guy pointing and then the other guy on top of the arc. Isn't he?
There's a guy pointing, and where is somebody with the trombone?
At the other end of the arc. Do you see that?
Here? I don't, but there must be there because I said so. All right, that's something that we will get back to this because I do have the catalog and we can like look at the catalog and then I can show it to you that way. Let's see. I can find it in here. And some of these catalog reproductions are much better than my pictures. Like, look at the detail on these faces. Hold on, I'm showing you the wrong thing. Look at that. Like, you can really see. So inside the catalog, you can really see the detail of how beautifully rendered this was. But we will look together. That way you're not bored. As I try to find. And this is at the end. Okay, what is the name of it? It's Aaron Douglas, right?
Yeah, it's the Noah's Ark.
Okay, they have listed illustrations. Let me just go to the index because everybody's going to be jumping off my live stream now. Why are you showing us the index? Okay, we will look at this later. All right. I will just have to get back to it. Let me go back to my slides. Okay. Hold on. How come I don't have the slides anymore? All right. Click for more layouts. This one, shift. There we go. There we go. Okay. Noah Built the Ark. We will get back to it. This one is the video that I just showed you. There is a trumpet in this one. So what I loved is how they incorporated things that mattered to them inside their paintings of other things. We're going to just assume the Noah's Ark did have a trumpet in it, even though I wasn't able to show it to you. But, in that image. Okay, so somebody looked in, William Johnson's work. If somebody wants to do a little Google search and let us know in the chat what that is, whether it's oil. Okay, so here we have Romare Bearden, the block, and I love this one because it's collage. You're going to see it much better, though, in my video, so let me show that to you now. Okay. All right. So now we're going to talk about related resources. Some of them I've already shared with you. So let's see what we've got here. So first of all, yes, the catalog was amazing. Like I said, this is like really fun. I'm going to spend a lot of time looking, and next time we meet live, I'll let you know about that artist. We talked about this book. This was something we talked about in a prior live stream. So because I felt it was related, so I linked that up into the carousel. And this was another exhibit that I saw at the Met Museum. So this is Winslow Homer. We were able to find this one, right, Addie? Okay. And I think this book is actually on sale. You can get this for a lot less than I paid for it. This is, Winslow Homer, he is a white artist, but he was sent down to paint pictures of the Civil War during that time. And it definitely inspired him. And one of the things that he was showing was what life was like for people who were about to get emancipated, what it was like for them. One thing that I was telling you before that's really cool to do when you get books like this is this becomes an art piece that you can put on your coffee table. But I also like to take the covers off of my book sometimes, because especially when it has a linen cover, and this one has this beautiful metallic teal font. So this is something that becomes like a decor piece, like on your bookshelf as well. So you get to enjoy it in multiple ways. I love the color green. So I keep going back and forth between whether I want to keep this with the dust jacket on or show this off. But this was another exhibit that I loved at the museum. I'm not sure, did we do a podcast episode about this one? Can't recall. Oh, Addie doesn't think so. But I did want to share with you a couple of the things in here that is what I was talking about. I really liked the way Winslow Homer was sympathetic to the African American people, the slaves. Like you can really see kind of the bitterness in that woman's face. Here you can see like this is the white plantation owner, and you can see there was a lot of compassion for these women in Winslow Homer's art. And that's why I really, really liked that exhibit. That was a different exhibit from the Met Museum. Okay. Another artist that I might introduce you to in a future live stream is Nellie May Rowe, and she is an outsider artist. Now, the cover of this does not look like what you see in the carousel, because I removed the cover because I really loved the black linen with this font here, and it just now it has cat hair all over it, so I'm gonna have to clean this. But I just thought this was really cool, and I like the graphic font, so this became a decor piece that I like to use. Okay, now the last thing I wanted to share. This is not the last thing, but I think we're moving on to gift shop obsessions. So I bought this because this was in the gift shop. It has nothing to do with the Harlem Renaissance. It is available on Amazon, and I'm going to open this up. It's a sticker book. And I love to decorate, and the whole book is full of like these really cool stickers that are kind of like the Inferma style. So I loved it. And I like to decorate my laptop. I like to decorate my planner with lots of bling. So that's like my inner middle schooler. I like stickers. So I thought I would share that with you. And then the last thing that, Addie was asking me about my shirt that I forgot to share. So this shirt I got at the gift shop as well. That is linked in there. And then I couldn't resist a good candle. And this one just smells so good. So one thing I wanted to share, except it's buried in my desk now, so I'm just going to show this to you. But what I really appreciated about this candle is their description of it is definitely something that artists should pay attention to about how to describe their art, because they did a really great job of describing the product with the way they want you to feel. It's not like, oh, this is a candle and there's like, 62 ounces or, whatever, not 62 ounces. It's a lot of ounces. It's, this many hours of burning time. Like maybe that's in there too. But the main thing that they emphasized was that it evokes the Harlem night and that it has essence of amber and it reminds you of Africa. So all these things made it very romantic and enticing. And I thought that was a really good lesson for artists to understand, like how important these product descriptions are. So I want to just read to you a little bit from this product description that was inside of the candle. The thought of coming home and luxuriating in your own private world of blissful indulgence is what our after dark candle personifies. The sky is inky black, dotted with just a few winking stars. The night has a beautiful silence. You sink into a velvet embrace on your sofa or your lover and stay there for a while. Your favorite soul music plays low in the background, and you bask in the pure joy of this extraordinary moment where nothing else in the universe matters. Like, that's how you write a product description. Really, really good. Okay, so we have a few last things to talk about. Addie, do we have any questions that I need to answer or comments to share while I put this stuff down?
Candace Davis says she gifts their candles all of the time, so it must be really good.
Awesome. Okay, and I did like a couple of extra things in the carousel just because it's Prime Day, and a few of the things that I use are actually on sale. So this white desk chair, I think, is on sale. Is that right, Addie?
Yeah, that's 16% off.
That's 16% off. And then I don't know if the blanket was also on sale. Is that right?
The blanket isn't. I think it is. It has like a $7 off.
Okay, so if those things matter to you, those couple of things are on sale. And we did link my books up in the carousel. We linked up the box in the carousel. I linked up this thing, which, by the way, for people like Candace's clients, Candace is my book editor, by the way. Thank you for stopping by, Candace. So it's like, if you want to show your book off or you want to show your art off, like to have easels, it's a really good idea to have that. Is there anything that I left out that I need to cover?
Let me check. Is there anything else you want to share?
I think that's it. All right. If you enjoyed this live stream and you wanted me to take you behind the scenes of more museums, let me know in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. And let me just see, I think there might be actually a few more slides that I have that I forgot. Okay. So if you hit follow to make sure you get notified for the next live stream, you can catch up on all the past live streams by going to schulmanart.com/live streams. And we already shared our takeaways and questions. And I just want to thank you. So thank you so much for joining me here today. And I'll see you the same place, same time next week. Until then, stay inspired. Bye for now.